Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good morning everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessTheTrader.com weekend update show. Hope everybody is doing well. It is Sunday morning. I don't know what time or when you'll see this video this weekend, but hopefully everybody is having an amazing 3-day rest. Tomorrow, obviously, the equity markets are closed in the observance of Memorial Day. And again, I think I can speak for everyone. We want to send a thank you, an unbelievable gift of sacrifice for the men and women who fought and for the right of us to be free. So happy Memorial Day, everybody, and hopefully everyone is doing well. All I ask, guys, thank you very much for tuning in, spending a few moments with us. Click that like button, help support the channel, and hopefully I will continue to point you in the right direction. So a lot of stuff going on today. As we all know, we are in a very fluid headline ordeal right now with Iran. The latest is basically what I'm about to read. The United States and Iran are close to signing. This is as of, 10:30, almost 11 o'clock on a Sunday morning. The U.S. and Iran are close to signing a deal that would involve a 60-day ceasefire during which the Strait of Hormuz, yes, I'm calling it Hummus, would be reopened. Iran would be able to freely sell oil and negotiate world negotiations would be held on curbing Iran's nuclear program, right? Obviously, that's a good thing. The equity markets are obviously going to like this news. If there's nothing changing in the next, 72 hours or so, and the market should, again, come Tuesday, at least light up at the open. You have the S&P 500, 8 straight weeks of gains. The Dow closed on Friday at all-time highs. And ironically, the lagger was the technology stocks. And if you look at the QQQs, and that's kind of what we have here, yeah, I mean, the Qs closed great, right? Qs closed great, pretty much stone's throw away from the all-time highs. But considering the news that was kind of murmuring and playing out all of Friday, you would think there would be a much bigger run, right? And again, I'm not a negative Nancy. What I try to do, conveying the message, is I try to always play devil's advocate. When you play devil's advocate, you're not looking at the market from a euphoric, sipping the fruit punch type of view. You're looking at it from a very adult-like, responsible sort of way. So if if the headlines are one and the price action the other, and they don't correlate, again, something to maybe monitor or something to be conscious of. So if you look at the stocks that are continuing to go crazy, what are you going to say that hasn't been said about the storage names? Micron, despite it being down Friday, Trump mentioned them by name, right? He said they're a great company. I mean, this is amazing. And by the way, have you guys seen that headline that Trump made like 65,000 trades last year? I'm obviously exaggerating. It's pretty amazing considering, the activity level of his presidency, how much time he has. There's a lot of stock trades he made. So congratulations, Mr. Trump. You've definitely outperformed the market. But he called MU in one of his rallies in the last couple of days by name. He's been plugging away on Dell, right? Everybody buy Dell stock. Obviously, we know by now that the government owns a piece of Intel like right over here. So they made quite a big amount of money. So the Trump stocks are rallying very, very aggressively. The semiconductors continue to be absolute monsters. Qualcomm going absolutely nuts. What else do we have? Qualcomm going nuts. My God, it's such a long day. Qualcomm, Marvel, right? Marvel going crazy. You have the space stocks running very, very aggressively into the SpaceX IPO. I don't want to get to the SpaceX IPO, but guys, anyway, You got ASTS. We've been watching the video all week when it cleared out the 50-day moving average. We talked about, hey, not only did this thing cleared out the 50-day moving average, they started going very, very aggressively for the weekly and the weekly calls, 100 calls, and the June 110s. Well, it's not that far away from 110s. You got the space stocks going crazy, right? You got that. You got the data centers name going crazy, the QBTSs of the world and all these things. So there's a lot of excitement, man, a lot of excitement, a lot of euphoria. The market rested for like 3-4 days. We were able to take advantage of some downside channels just because of the gravity trading. Again, as we discussed all of last week, it wasn't meant to be at the top of the market call. It was just meant to take advantage of a little bit of a buyer's rest, exhaustion, and here we are, right? But my point is going into Monday, right? So let's just say in the next 24 hours between Sunday and Tuesday's open, we get a definitive deal done, right? Definitive deal done, and they announced that, hey, the Strait of Hormuz, which I believe is already open this morning, you have a 60-day ceasefire. We're at the 2-yard line from really ending this war. And the question going into Tuesday, if that happens, is, well, what happens next, right? Is this going to be all priced into a potential next move up? Or is this going to be another trigger, another kerosene, another fuel to the fire of the next leg up? Again, I don't know, right? I have no idea. I don't think anybody knows. We're all opinions. But I'm looking at the technology group as a whole, minus the Microns, minus the SanDisk, the Qualcomms, and I said, well, wait a minute, why did they underperform the last couple of days when the market was rallying? Right? Let's take a look. Let's kind of like dive into some names. So yet Nvidia had a really terrific quarter, right? They raised their dividend. They had a big buyback. Their top and bottom line got just destroyed in a good way, right? They came out great numbers and they sold off, right? Amazon, that had an opportunity to rally this week, kind of paused. Google for the last week has kind of paused, right? You got AMD that had, a big godlike run. And again, this should be kind of grouped together with the Qualcomm, the Qualcomms of the world. And again, 20 points off its highs. You have Tesla, right? Tesla had a great run up, came back in, is just kind of teetering here, trying to reclaim back the 10-day moving average. Microsoft, as we discussed in the beginning of the week when they were coming for 435 calls, like, hey, maybe somebody knows something. Obviously, they did. There was a big PR. They came out and they sold it instantly. Again, I think Microsoft, and I don't know exactly when this is going to happen or if it happens at all, but Microsoft is getting super tight on the daily, guys. I mean, super duper tight. It keeps on getting rejected below the 150-day moving average and keeps on holding the 50-day. One of these channels eventually in this lifetime or the next is going to get confirmed, right? Obviously, in this type of environment, we would love to see it to the upside because just like when Tesla reclaimed the 150-day moving average, Microsoft could go on this insane run all the way up to 460, which is the 200-day, but it's right now just kind of in no man's land, sitting in between the 150 and the 50-day moving average. Above the 150-day moving average, go long with both hands. Below the 50-day moving average, go short with both hands. But it's definitely a name we want to continue to monitor. Speaking of Tesla, I do like the price action in Tesla. I like the fact that it held the 150-day moving average. That's kind of my whole point about Microsoft, the importance of reclaiming the 150. It's been rejected now back-to-back days on the 10-day moving average. Again, if you've been watching this broadcast or been in the webinar with me for years, almost 17 years I've been hosting, you know how important the 10-day moving average is. Any close on Tesla above the 10-day moving average, we could see 450s again. That's how important the 10-day is. Apple, talk about a godlike run, right? It's on a godlike run right now. Ever since it cleared out again, this is another case study of the importance of the 50-day moving average. Once Apple got back above the 50-day moving average on April the 15th, the stock has literally gone from 260 to 311. Again, guys, remember, if you haven't learned anything from these broadcasts or from me in general, first day above the 50-day, super good. First day below the 50-day, not as much. I mean, look at Merck. Has nothing to do with technology, right? Merck had its first close on Thursday above the 50-day moving average, yada, yada, yada. I mean, absolute massive move. All these things, even the oils, right? Even the oils before this news war potentially ending had a big run up, right? Big run up. You had Chevron, you had Exxon Mobil, right? You had big 3-day run ups again before the news that we potentially could have a deal done. So that 50-day moving average break is very important. Meta cannot rally. Doesn't make a difference what the market does. You got Netflix cannot rally. No make a difference what the market does. PLTR cannot rally no matter what the market does, right? You have a lot of names, CRWV, interesting name going into next week. It got rejected off the 20-day moving average. I want to keep an eye on this thing for the next leg up. You got Bitcoin kind of stalling out a little bit. MSTR is starting to look crappy. Coinbase has been crappy, so they're not good. It'll be very interesting to see going into next week if there is a definitive news announcement saying, hey, by the way, the war is pretty much done. It's going to be very interesting to see if there's going to be a sell the news event. If it does, there's a lot of technology names that needs to warrant our attention. Some other names that are going crazy. All right. So if you've been following me for years and years and years, you guys know I'm a stock snob. It's just true. I'm a stock snob. I trade 90% of the time the same 10 stocks. The other 10% I'll trade if there's violent option flow, short-term expiration with deep out of the money calls. I didn't have this symbol on my bingo card, right? I think all of us in the webinar, we're kind of stunned at what's going on here. So we got long Nokia around the 1405 area 2 days ago, okay? They were coming in for massive, absolutely massive weekly $15 calls, short-term $16 calls. On Friday, they started coming for June $18 calls. We saw July $20 calls. I don't know what the hell is going on. We're up about $2 on a $14 stock is pretty amazing. I have a small runner left. I'm just curious to see how high it goes. But again, this is kind of what the weirdness of the market is. If you follow that blueprint, even if you have no idea what you're doing, you follow that blueprint, you have deep out of the money calls, short-term expiration, confirming a daily chart, you have a very high probability of cashing in that bet. And that's exactly what we've seen on Nokia. Just amazing. I would love to see a 16, 17 push going into next week, especially with any type of good news. Some other names I do like. Cisco broke out. Cisco broke out on Friday above its earnings highs. This is the first close above its earnings highs. This thing looks really good. Really good going into next week. Let me give you guys some other ideas for next week. Again, I love Tesla above the 10-day moving average. I love that. Look at RKLB. Again, another one of these space names. They're running it up into the SpaceX IPO. Keep an eye on this thing above Friday's channel. This thing gets above. This thing could really good. Who has this on their bingo card? Let this marinate a little bit. No, this isn't Tesla. This is Ford, right? Congratulations for all you guys who've been long the stock since 1927. Congratulations, you're about even. All jokes aside, look at this freaking stock, man. This thing is like an inch away of getting back above the daily upper Bollinger Band, upper linear regression line and start running. Lunar, another space play, right? Another space play. Looks like it's about to, dare I say, take off, right? Looks great as well. Amazon, okay? Amazon is very close, guys. Really close. We saw really aggressive call buying coming in for the August 300, excuse me, not August, 7th, that's July. For the July 18 expiration, repeat buyers of the $300 calls. Again, just like Tesla, I'm watching Amazon above the 10-day. If it could get back above the 10-day moving average, this thing could really take off. So we're going to keep an eye on that as well. Well, that's it, everybody. It is Sunday morning. Again, happy Memorial Day. Hope everybody has a great weekend. It's crappy weather in the Northeast, but again, at least we got a day off, right? At least we got a couple of days off to kind of reset our brains. It's been great market action. If you are interested in pivots and been following along for a while, guys, all it takes is 30 days. Come hang out and see if it's a great fit for you. Guys, God bless everybody. Stay blessed. And with God's help, I'll see you all on Tuesday. Take care.